Hello everyone, this is Fifi here, and welcome back to the Aeroteam channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build this Humvee in 1.5:1 scale. I'll show you how to build this version with the turret containing a Browning M2 machine gun, as well as this version with no turret. Of course, the Humvee is a very prominent military vehicle, primarily used by the US military. However, it is used around the world by many militaries as well as civilians. In total, a staggering 281,000 of all variants have been produced, and this of course means that this will be applicable in almost any military project that you are working on. And of course, as I mentioned, it will be in 1.5:1 scale and make significant use of our custom Aeroteam resource pack. However, I will do my best to provide workarounds for those using another resource pack such as the default resource pack. Just a warning before we get started, the build does make a lot of use of Wool or the debug stick, so unfortunately if you don't have access to either, you may likely not be able to build this fully up to scratch. However, you should be able to get around it. To begin, take these endstone brick slabs, which of course have this black brick texture in our resource pack, and come to the front and place 7 in a row on the top of a block like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then right in the front, take another brick stair, which of course has this black wall texture in our resource pack. If you're using default, you could use 2 variants of blackstone or dark oak. Place 2 facing inwards like this on either side as the wheels, and then for the hubcaps, take a polished blackstone button and place on either side. Then come to the end, and on the second last stone slab, we're going to place these stairs in the same fashion like so. And then on these middle 2 black slabs, take smooth sandstone slabs and place on either side like so. Then to fill in these gaps, we'll be using a cool building technique using fence gates. So if you place facing inwards on either side like so, and then open them facing towards the sandstone, you can see that from the side it sort of makes this quarter block. Then here's where we'll make use of our resource pack. As you can see, the detector rail has this blue trapdoor texture in our resource pack. However, if it's activated, it will change to the sandstone texture. So you want to come to the back in this 1x1 area and place a rail facing east or west. And then if you are on Java Edition, you can type this command /give your username debug stick, and then you can right click it to power it. If you do not have the debug stick for some reason, you could use World Edit. So place your rail, take a minecart, use a replace tool, so take any tool from your inventory, put it in your hotbar, and while holding it type this command /repl0. Then left click on this trapdoor, place a temporary block in this corner and right click with your replace tool. If you do not have Audit or debug stick, you can just use a Django trapdoor, which has a fairly similar color. Then we'll use World Edit again. You need a black banner. Place 2 temporary blocks on either side of these rails like so. Then place a black banner down. Use the replace tool I just showed you. So /repl0. Left click on this banner. While you have these 2 temporary blocks, right click them each with your replace tool. And then you can destroy this placeholder block, like so. And then right in the front, you want to take a dark oak fence gate, and place in the front like so. And then that is pretty much layer 1 complete. When I start layer 2, I will have to add 2 buttons below the blocks here. But that is tricky with just layer 1, so I'll show you how to do that in layer 2. For layer 2, start by taking smooth sandstone and placing above these smooth sandstone slabs and above these rails / trapdoors. And then to create the wheel arch, take a sandstone stair, place 1 facing outwards like so above the wheels, and then 1 facing inwards like so. And as you can see, these gates sort of make it look like there's a block between the stair and the slab, which makes it look a bit more realistic, as there shouldn't be a very big gap here. And then you can do that in front as well, just obviously reversing it. And then mirror on the other side as well, like so. And then in the front, we'll make use of our resource pack again. As I'm sure you'll know by now, these coral blocks have been retextured to vertical slabs in our resource pack. Unfortunately, at the moment, we do not have one with a sandstone texture, so the smooth stone texture will have to do. So we'll be using our replace tool again. Take a temporary block and place in front of these stairs like so. Then temporarily place down this coral. This is the dead tube coral fan. Then take your replace tool again. Type repel 0 in case you haven't already. Left click on the coral block and destroy it, and then right click these two temporary blocks. And then in the middle, as you can see, we have this wall with the fancy block state. You can get that using World Edit or using the debug stick. So the easiest way to do it will be to place two smooth sandstone between these stairs like so in the middle, and then place a wall down. And then take a debug stick. I showed you the command earlier, but just in case, it's /give your username debug stick. Then you want to cycle through and make sure you have the right direction. So I'm facing south, so cycle through by left clicking until you get to south, and right click through until it's set to low. And then east and west do the exact same. West set to low, east set to no, and then cycle through again until it says up, and right click, so up is set to false. That's the easiest way to do it. If you can only be using World Edit, you could do this by just placing 3 walls in this arrow shape. Unfortunately, you will have the up section like so, but it's not the end of the world if you do have that. If you do not have debug stick or World Edit, you can either just place a wall like that, which is not ideal, or you could take a birch fence gate like so. On the sides of these corals, yet again, we'll be using our replace tool with World Edit. Take an oak button, take a temporary block and place on either side of the coral, then temporarily place your oak button like so, select it with your replace tool, break the button, and then right click on this temporary block, and then do the same on the other side. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you can see there's 2 buttons under these coral blocks, so to do that, we'll use our replace tool yet again. So place these temporary blocks so that you can get this correct block state. Left click this button, place a temporary block in front of these stairs, and right click with your replace tool. And then that's most of the fancy World Edit done for now. And then on the side of these 2 sandstone blocks, you can see we've used our rail trapdoor again. So the easiest way to get this is once again using the debug stick. Place down 2 rails like so, and then cycle through like so and select the correct orientation. And then left click so you're cycling between activated and not, and then right click to activate them. Do the exact same on the other side. If you only have World Edits, you can do something like this. Place down a temporary block like so, place 1 rail above and 1 to the side like so, so that you get this orientation. Then place down a minecart, and with your replace tool, get this block state, place 2 temporary blocks like so, and right click. If you do not have World Edit or the debug stick, of course you could use something like the jungle trapdoors, as they're the closest color that's on an actual trapdoor. On this corner stair, I want to place a birch button on the side, so yet again we'll be using the replace tool. So place a temporary block on that stair, select this birch button with your replace tool and right click on the temporary block. And then coming to the last block, we want to take an acacia button, which is of course black in our resource pack, and place it on the sandstone like so. And then on the rear, we want to fill this in with smooth sandstone, and take a oak button and a birch sign. Place the sign in the middle and the birch button on either side. Then coming around to this side, we want to place a birch button in the front. So like we did over here, come around, place a temporary block, use your replace tool for the birch button, and then right click the temporary block, And then we want to do the same here on this stair, but instead with an acacia button. So by now I'm sure you know how to do that. If you do not have Wallet because you're on Pocket Edition or server, unfortunately you will not be able to use these buttons. The best option would likely be using something like a sign or just not having them there. Then to begin on layer 3, take birch stair and birch slab and a smooth sandstone slab and a sandstone stair. And then come to the rear. On the very end, place a smooth sandstone slab on the edges and a birch slab in the middle. And then one block from the back, place a stair like so, of course sandstone on the outside and birch in the middle. This birch of course marks the door for the boot. And then if you would like to get the slope slightly more accurate while sacrificing texture, you could use an end portal frame like so. I've myself edited this texture slightly, but in the resource pack that's out in the public, this will have the normal Minecraft endstone portal frame texture. So it will not be the ideal texture, but its shaping will be a bit better. And then once you've got those stairs down, or the end portal frame, take black wool and place 3 down in the middle to cover up the section that was empty. And then take sandstone walls, and then in this little corner here we're going to place one like so. And then using either our debug stick or bold edits, I'll show you how to use both. We're going to make it so that it looks like this, facing towards the rear. So the debug stick cycle through to south or whatever direction the rear of the vehicle is facing. So I cycle through to south, set it to high, and then for east and west I set them both to high, and I'll set the the up to false. If you do not have the debug stick, once again you can use wall edit. So place too high this arrow like so, and use your replace tool, and left click this middle bottom wall, place down the temporary block and right click. And then you can use the same on the other side as well, like so. If you don't have wall edit yet again, or the replace tool, I'd suggest either taking one of these corals and placing like so, or just placing the plain wall like that. Then once again we'll be using our coral. Place down a temporary block over here, and then on the side take your coral, place it on another temporary block so that it's on the surface that's further away from the rear of the vehicle. Take your replace tool again, left click it, and then right click on this temporary block. This wall block state should go back to how it was originally. And then in the front, take again the activator rail, place like so, so it's facing outwards and it's open. So cycle through so that the shape is like this, so that we have these window frames, these distinct window frames, and then cycle through again to power it. Once again, if you don't have the debug stick, take a minecart, place the rails in this fashion, put a minecart on to activate it, place down the temporary block, like so. Oopsie. And of course place the car on this side too, as I forgot to do. And there you go. Once again, if you do not have wall edits or the debug stick, you can place a jungle trapdoor. And then to come work on the windshield, you can take the Dead Fire Coral Fan, which has this black texture in our resource pack. Unfortunately, you can only place it in the middle here, so we'll have to use even more wall edit to stack it to the other side. So temporarily, you can place it on the back of this black wall. Take your wand and stack it in either direction just once. And then this part is optional. The Humvee in real life has very thick window frames, so I personally think that adding a birch fence in the middle like so helps to add some extra detail. But if you would like the flat windshield, you can simply have 3 vertical slabs instead. If you are in resource pack such as the default, you could use something such as a black glass pane. Place 3 like this in this arrow, left click the replace tool, of course place your temporary block here and then right click with the pane. And then finally on the bonnet you need to take a birch trapdoor and 2 birch buttons, place birch buttons like so, and then in the remaining block place the birch trapdoor. When we get to layer 4, as you can see there's 2 options you can take. You can either take the basic version where we have these rails / trapdoors on the roof, or you can take the version with the turret armor and the Browning M2 machine gun. So I'll show you how to do the simple version first, as it is far simpler, and then after that I'll show you how to build the turret. So very simply, take temporary blocks and place in this 3x3 grid above all these blocks. Then place down your rail, make sure it's in the correct orientation. So if you have the debug stick, just rotate through like so and then power it. Use your replace tool to add them on. Or if you do not have the debug stick, of course, you can use world edit. Once again, make sure they're facing north to south, and then place down the minecart, place tool, and right click, of course. And then yet again, if you do not have access to either, you can take the jungle trapdoors and place them over. Final bit of detailing to add is this area. So if you take a sandstone stair and place temporarily in this configuration so you can get this corner stair block facing outwards, use your replace tool again and left click on that and right click on this altar slab like so, and take 2 birch fences and place above like so. Finally, to finish off, take a birch button with the same configuration as these 2, left click your replace tool, place a temporary block above this vertical slab and right click, and then that is the basic Humvee completed. I'll now show you how to build with the turret. However, just be warned, it is very tedious because it uses pretty much every block uses the replace tool or world edit. To build the version of the Humvee that has the turret, as mentioned earlier, it is very tedious because it uses extensive use of the replace tool or world edit replace tooling. So I'll try to show you the easiest way to build it, however it is very tedious. So to begin, take a sandstone stair and place on the first block wall like so, and then in the other direction place sandstone stairs on the other side so that you get these corner blocks. Then in the middle, take a dark oak fence, place it parallel and then open it to face towards the stairs. Then on the back of the gate, take a sandstone stair again and place it facing upside down and backwards like so. Then place on 2 temporary blocks like so. This should become right when we replace these blocks. And then first block state we want is this sandstone full wall. So place 3 by 1 and then stack it so it's too tall to get this block state. Then left click it with your replace tool and replace the slab with it. And then here we'll be using a glass pane to try and round the shape off a bit. So place 3 grey stained glass panes like so, and so that you get the corner, and then left click it with your replace tool and right click on the slab. And then easiest way to build on the other side will be to flip it. That should hopefully come right. So select half of it, copy it, flip, and paste. Yeah, you see that came right. And then finally, to work on the barrel of the machine gun, take a chain, place above this birch on this sandstone stair, and then we'll be replacing the sandstone stair with the endstone brick walls. So we want this block state, So place 3 in a row and select the middle one, and then right click that sentence there. And then that is the turret complete and the entire Humvee complete. Hopefully that wasn't too tedious to build the turret. Over the course of the main tutorial, I forgot to show you how to build the mirrors for the Humvee, so I'll quickly show you how to do that. We'll be using our place tool again and make use of these nether brick fences, which have the black wool texture in our resource pack. Again, if you're in default, you could use something such as dark oak or nether brick as well. So take a temporary block and place on either side of these vertical coral fans, like so. And then temporarily take your fence and place down 2 facing into each other like this. Then go back to your replace tool, type /rep0, left click on this one, and right click on your temporary block, and then do the same on the other side, but obviously using the opposite fence. And then that's what the mirrors should look like when completed, and the entire Humvee fit into creating these designs and videos. If you do fully complete this, I'd love to see it, so feel free to post it on our Discord or tag us on any of our other social media accounts. So thank you for watching and see you next time.